Whoa, greetings. Hey, Joyce Park. About to buy fifth dimension. I was just thinking about birds, how they can just fly around and shit on people. It's like shit. Maybe it was a bird. Maybe Hillary Clinton was a birder past life, or maybe most of these politicians, for that matter. So yeah, I was watching the goose thing. The goose going to Walmart. So he took a crap there. Oh, it's a bird. What do you expect? What life with wings? What a good excuse. I can just do whatever I want. One way to start this, huh? Alright, greetings. Thank you for joining us for tonight of Insanity. Hong Kong, I've heard about it. I haven't really dived into it. I looked into Hong Kong culture or Chinese culture, and I'm completely lost. I've heard about this, about mainland China and Hong Kong are like two different things. I guess Hong Kong is more open, more westernized, and mainland China is more all the communism is. I thought all the communism was all through all of it. I guess not. So I gotta do my homework, and of course I'll forget if I don't keep on it. Man, you need to study up on it. It's kind of quite complicated. So I guess the idea is if somebody, I'm just gonna go by my guess of what's going on. If you're in Hong Kong and you go over to Taiwan, you do a crime. The new bill was to send you to back to Taiwan, or to send you to mainland China, where you'll get, nobody wants to go to mainland China. So they killed the bill, but the bill is not totally gone. I mean, they stopped it, but it's not. So the protesting, from what I gathered from it, so from a deep state's point of view, now I wasn't planning on putting deep state in the title of this, but apparently I needed to put that there. So yeah, there was an agenda to see what they can get away with, to take over Hong Kong, basically. Now they're slowly trying to. I guess both of them are going to combine eventually, but Hong Kong doesn't want to lose their rights. So yeah, mainland China, it was like a coup d'etat to try to take it over, basically. It failed, and everybody's pissed off, and the protests are going to continue to go on until that bill is gone altogether. I think I have my facts right. I don't know. But yeah, it's a deep state hit. Now, China there's a lot of reptilian energies there. They're trying to control people, obviously, doing pretty good. Communism. But I don't believe, I have to research. I guess Hong Kong isn't under that, isn't under that communist takeover, so that's good. I thought all China was taken over. Let's see what I know. So, yeah, I have to do my research. Either way. Let's see. Yeah, the deep state, more reptilian forces, the negative ones, are, from what it feels like, is trying to do a. Now, they're seeing what they can get away with. Doesn't mean they thought they would get away with anything. Obviously, China is going through a shift, and it's going to continue. It's a big deal. China is a huge deal. Economic-wise, it's going to go through many shifts. Eventually, where I would say even the communist hold is going to start to break down. Eventually. Not yet. Eventually, because they don't want the West in their business, but, they're going to have to, calm down a little. A lot of it has to do with one of the reasons why mainland China is the way it is because of our CIA, FBI, all that stuff. It's spy stuff. They don't want us in there for obvious reasons, and other countries too. It has a lot to do with that. I imagine they would bring, so all of that has to clear itself out. Then they'll bring down the Iron Curtain. Yeah, it's all that spy shit. Think about it. They run our economy basically. They talk about how China's. Like the hacking is going. A lot of it is from China. They might blame Russia for it, but a lot of it is probably China. They're not gonna tell you that though. They're getting. There's a war going on. It's a cyber war going on, and now the people are getting. For obvious, they're protesting for the right reasons. It might be getting kind of out of hand, but the government is definitely on only their side. They're paranoid. They're paranoid. They want to put everybody under that communist regime, and for them it's good. Those are at the top, but everyone else is like, no thanks. for obvious reasons. So, yeah, like I say, get rid of the deep state. uh, Things will change. You know, I don't know if anyone's going to really educate themselves. I mean, fully, I'm not that educated on it, obviously. But, you know, I don't know, spirituality can only go so far. But, yeah, to clear it's basically, it's because China plays such a big role in economies. It's a target. It's like, can you get somebody in there to take that over? So they're trying to keep their power for obvious reasons. And they might overstate it. It's like, hey, we think we know what's right, but the people are like, screw you. So, because they don't want anyone foreign to take over them. When you think about it, it is possible. I mean, it has happened. British have taken over them in the past, and others, whatever. But, you know, yeah, China doesn't want to happen what a Japan take, like they don't want America taking over China, basically. That's why they keep the Iron Curtain up for the most part. And America has tried, and still are trying. They want to run the agenda for obvious reasons. They want to give America, the war machine, more money, so they can do the control system and keep our stupid media running. Man, our media, I don't know when that's gonna. It's not gonna crack yet, but it's turning into it's entertainment. It's like a comedy show, and it's getting more. They're getting more insane. I feel like they're getting more desperate. The way some of them are. I think some of those news broadcasters are completely losing their minds. They're just on air going insane. It's starting. I don't watch that stuff, but the vibe of it is some of them are, they're in your living room. They're all doing the news, supposedly the news, and they're going insane. Some of them are. Some of them get health problems because they keep doing that negative stuff all the time. I don't know if any of them are going to implode on TV. Just I don't know if they're going to die online. You never know. Because all that BS can only take so much. So, yeah, I got a message earlier that around September things are going to start lightening. More information. I don't know if things are going to lighten up, but changes are on the way. August is a turning point. September is a time of things to start happening. Area 51. If you want to raid Hillary Clinton's house, you can do that. That's going on. Shit gets better and better. So apparently, on September 20th, you go to Area 51, and you can go, rampage that, and then you can go on the Saturday and go rampage the Clintons. So that works. There's a Facebook page about it, apparently. That's fucking great. I don't know if it has 1 million people on there, but they can't suicide everybody, something like that. Shit, it's great. So, alright, we'll do a channeling also, see what is allowed to be. No, I don't know. Who knows how far deep they'll go into this stuff. This is diamondtour.com. We have private sessions throughout the week. You have the gallery. We're at a channel. Google Hangout, Zoom, and channeling by phone. This is about 7 days for delivery. Same situation here. We have other channels and healers I do recommend. Yeah, social network and Rabbit and all its awesomeness. Peer support. Oh yeah. There's the China raid situation. Just if you're not knowing what I'm talking about, why Hong Kong is protesting. I don't need to go into that. You can do your own research. It's pretty terrible. But I'm surprised they didn't have this problem a long time ago. But 10th week. This has been going on for 10 weeks, and I finally started talking about it. Jeez, I've heard about it. I know it was going on for a couple of weeks, but I wasn't really sure what was going on with that. 10 freaking weeks. I don't think our media has really been talking about it that much. Only because the economy is hurting. Well, I guess it was sort of like a blackout from it, too, in some regard. They're sort of talking about it. Yeah, some of the mainstream are talking. Either way. So, Hong Kong. I imagine there's something else going on, but the Hong Kong thing is. I don't think it's coming to an end just yet. Well, let's see. Do the conscious connection. If any angels want to connect anybody of positive means. All right, one moment. Greetings, we other Arcturians. One moment. This is I am blessings. Yes, you're. People are realizing what they want in life. They don't want to lose their individual rights. China feels like now. Think of your mainland China as an overprotective parent. Yes, it is more than just paranoid. It realizes it runs a good portion of the planet. It does have a lot of influence, and you can call it a secret society if you want. It has a lot of the thinking there. It is public society. It's kind of like a cult in some ways. Its government is. It's ran like it. It has religious means to it. So it's technically like a cult. You can say all governments are cults. However you want to look at things. But yes, they now Hong Kong or mainland China is terrified. Not because of the protests. Yes, they don't like the protests, but they're terrified of losing control over the people. They feel like this is a way of taking over the people. Yes, taking over their rights. We know better. We know best for everyone. Obviously, that doesn't always work out. That's your modern day, you know, Big Brother, technically, in some shape or form. There is some energies there. Communism does have its positives, of course, because it did put the Iron Curtain up. It does have some. I mean, yes, it's not easy, but a lot of people are happy with the Iron Curtain. Not everyone is a negative towards it. They don't want anything to do with the West. So let's keep that Iron Curtain going. Let's just watch whatever propaganda you have. But in the United States, you have the same type of thing. It's just you have more freedom to find what kind of propaganda you're looking for. They don't. Yes, there's an illusion of freedom all across your world. There are different levels of it. So, theirs is just obviously it's not much of a freedom. So many of you go up and go to work every day to realize that freedom isn't. It's like, where's my freedom again? It doesn't really exist technically. But yes, there is a dark side to. Of course, there is a Illuminati energy. Basically, you're going through a disclosure of yourself slowly. Eventually, you're going to remove governments from your world altogether. You have not quite gotten to that level of it. We are going to basically find a less conflict side of your society eventually. Yes, the stairwell is very long, but basically many of you are going to connect more to a positive side of you, and then of course some will find a very negative side. But the positive side is going to go to more the higher dimensional energies, or more fourth and fifth dimension energies. You'll be channeling those even stronger than ever before. You're in that direction right now. It's going to get stronger. Even sixth and seventh dimension energies will be channeled. Now, currently it's happening now, but it's at a lower level. Those numbers of your people, as you more realize of what you're capable of. And China, over time, will light up. It's already lit up with all its cities, as you can see. Look up one of the major cities. In China, it's very lit up, but realize you can take off the electricity and let the vibrations soar. Their society itself will light itself. Yes, telling that somebody in the third dimension doesn't go very far. But the vibrations of the Asian cultures are very powerful. They show that in their cities, with all their, the Shanghai, things like that. They show their very vibrancy. They're very alive. But their society is very alive. And, like I said, you turn off the power, they light up themselves. They're going into that direction. Of course, you have some time for that. Basically, the city itself can even levitate from the ground and go into a flying city. A city in the clouds. It is capable of that. It has been that way in the past. So India has recorded a great deal of this. A lot of China's history has been lost through its mythology. There is some in the mythology, but yes, many of your people came from the skies, many have been able to fly. It's throughout your mythologies. We not have all the mythology here for this channeling at this time. But you are, yes, capable of flight, and the energies of China will eventually elevate. A lot of it has to do with the deep state that's controlling your America, that controls your military. Your military eventually calm itself down. You're getting there. As basically, it's to clear out the paranoia. The war against each other. That's not fully ended, as you can see. Basically, conversations have to shift. Thinking has to shift. But there's not a war, idea of war, beating the crap out of each other, will eventually calm itself down. Violent movies isn't helping, but it shows how the consciousness is right now. Horror movies are showing where the consciousness is also. You're going to be slowly letting go of low vibrational energies and allowing more high. Basically, you go to a movie that's more of a positive sense, and that'll get all the money instead of the negative movie, basically. That's what you're heading towards. Your China is basically going through a major shift. This protest is a show of it. So it's also for the headlines to realize they exist in a different way, that their culture does matter, for you to educate some of you about their culture also. So there's a lot of areas around it. The Asian world wants to be known, not just for economic reasons, for culture reasons. That's another reason why this is happening right now. There's always many different agendas occurring, because your understanding of how China operates will help you understand the rest of the world. Eventually, they play a huge part, as some of you know. All right, blessings to you all. There is another being here. Greetings, Anunnaki. Greetings to you. We don't have any fear of your society, as you know. Your what happens with your China is they don't really do what anybody wants them to do. They do whatever they feel like, basically. At least within your deep state, they do compromise here and there, but they usually think for their own. Usually think on their own. They do things on their own. They don't really. They keep everybody, at least in your shadow government, out of it. Nobody, even the shadow governments, aren't aware what the hell they're up to sometimes. So you'll find out later, 3 weeks later. There's a lot of secrecies there. So, yes, it is to pay attention to China, but also America is going to shift too. You're shifting into a whole new environment eventually. Where you look at technology differently, look at each other differently. Telepathic energies will be normal, as at least a conversation that it does exist. That's one of the early stages of your high vibrational knowledge. Yes, you're on the phone, everybody's staring at it, it's fun. It gets old after a while. That's what telepathic energies will eventually kick in. Not yet, but you're on that bridge towards it. Yes, you're going to have every kind of fancy way you can to have a phone. It'll be a block phone, it'll be a car phone, or it'll look like you already had car phones, but either way, it's going to look different. You're going to reimagine a phone. Either it's going to look like a piece of paper, whatever. It's going to be reimagined in many ways, but in doing so, the more you connect, realize the phone on the internet connects you to people all around the world. You find that right person around the world, you start caring about that person, your telepathic abilities do open eventually. And that is a doorway into each other's minds. Those that are in real romantic relationships sort of feel like they're already reading each other's minds already, depending on the relationship, of course. If you hate each other, it's not going to work. But you have that emotional touch. Even if you don't really like each other, you can still have a telepathic connection. Love-hate relationship. Yeah, so you're basically, you're now, those in the China energies are more likely to tap into because a lot of them are more spiritual. They don't realize it, but they are. Their artwork, their anime, their world is more spiritual than the rest of the world. And it's different. Spirituality around the rest of the world, Europe, is kind of coated with manipulation, as you can see. Now, to say China doesn't have it, but it's a little bit more open. I mean, they're talking about aliens, dolls, weirdness. They have, like, dragons, half cats. I mean, you don't have that anywhere else, technically. So yes, they strange it up for a good reason, because they are more spiritually connected than they realize. The energies are a lot lighter there. Yes, it's not easy. Not everybody is good at third dimensional thinking. This is why a lot of mistakes occur too. Those in the third dimension have a better way. They're used to third dimension. They can make less mistakes. But those are fourth dimension energy, incarnate third dimension body. It's like, how do I do this again? And so you kind of it's like reinventing the wheel sometimes. You have to figure out how to do this again. And a lot of those are in China. They make a lot of building mistakes, because in the higher dimensions it's easier. It's easier to build stuff. They can connect to the materials and just almost mentally build a structure. They just have a more understanding of it. They can connect to materials and understand how it works and put it together without a problem. On your planet, it's a lot different. You have to get plans, you gotta get this, get a map, do this. It's all super complicated. So, this is why China has a lot of strange, they should build a building and next thing you know it's falling apart. It's like, what? So, it's just a lot of different types of energies. And they're just used to a different environment. Yes, an easier environment. They are a building country, yes. They're always building, always creating. They always want to do something new. America, they want to do too, but there's more manipulations there. Yes, they want a high speed rail, but they find every way to keep it going, to shut it down. Now the car is bringing in a new dynamic too. Yes, your car is going to be reinvented, as your society is going to be reinvented. Reinventing the society takes time. The groundwork. Are you willing to change? A human's like a dog. It's kind of hard to teach a dog new tricks. An old dog new tricks, trying to teach an old human new tricks is going to be hard too. As some of you know that. But some of you get to an older age, it's like, I want to learn new tricks. Get 60 or whatever age it is, like, I am tired of going the old ways. That shows you the third dimensional cycle has come to an end. You've done everything you can. Now you're adding more of a fourth dimensional cycle to it. Doesn't mean you're leaving third dimension, but you're sprinkling in. And that's why so many become so difficult to be in the third dimension, because you feel that there's something better out there. Where life is easier. Relationships are easier. Scratching your back is easier. Combing your hair is easier. But you're applying all that vibration to the third. You're healing the third dimension of yourself. You're making peace with the third dimension too. It's not so easy as you, because many of you are pulling. You're connecting to higher dimensional worlds. You're bringing that energies in. It gets rejected here. You get angry. You get depressed. You don't know why, because you're always bringing in vibrations into this earth. Many of you realize that. You realize the grass is greener because it is. But not in the physical realm. You know the grass is greener somewhere, other versions of Earth, whatever it might be. Everyone connects to something different. Some of you have astral connections, are just like, it's like driving a new car. It's like life is good. Some of you go into astral and going to raise hell, basically. And you come back into the Earth's like, oh, I feel like I just fought a battle, because you did. So especially those of you who want to make change here. And many beings are trying to stop that change in astral. It's like some of you are here, like some of you are like ambassadors in astral. I mean, you're here to make, it's just like government. You're here to, you all get together and you discuss. Astral does the same thing. And some of you might be like, what are you talking about? Not everybody's involved with it. was like, hey, if you get a vote to change things, bring more fourth dimension energies, you have a lot of a lot of spirit beings that are with you on this. It's like, yeah, we want to change too, but you are there to represent it. So some of you might feel like you're a representative of the fourth dimension. Definitely, let's look at it that way. Some of you are here to really have the discussions and make the change, and others of you that feel like I'm not going to get a part of that, but you are involved with the energy push to make the change, but you're not part of the conversation because no thanks. Quite understood, but you do send your vibrations. You are a part of it, and then you probably feel that way. So those of you who are very aggravated in the third dimension, you're probably making a big change, and nothing's happening. You're not in for it, you are bringing it in. Many are holding back, as you can see. What is that? Is more open-mindedness on your planet. Your world is very closed-minded, as you might see that in your society. Talking about conspiracies is you're sharing your point of view. You're questioning things, correct? You're opening yourselves up, questioning your reality, and that is yet heresy on your planet. But you should be allowed to question everything. And there's a narrative here that's, you question too much, you can cause a lot of havoc, yes, but many of you here for a peaceful connection here, though. Is that those, the old guard, is the old Illuminati, old Atlanteans, that have seen your kind before. Meaning, it's like you're here to learn how to take responsibility over your planet. That's what you're figuring out. And not getting negative, not going after anybody negatively does help. Meaning somebody can tell you off and you can stay calm instead of beating them up. Idea is to stay level-headed and all this. It's not easy, as you can see. Many beings are trying to set you off. But the idea is to keep a level mind to go to the next level. Yeah, this is not easy. Because many of you are here to take, I wouldn't say take control over your world, but, govern it with more positivity. We'll get that way. Negative and positive work together. Right now, negative is running everything, as you can probably tell. Positive feels like it's taking a beating. The idea is so you can talk to each other and just not judge and find a queer response. 'Cause that's what the Illuminati is. They talk to each other. They do attack each other, yes, but it's different. It's like you attack, like a negative will attack, the positive will take the beating and try to govern themselves a little bit differently. Because sometimes the positive does set off the negative. I mean, it pisses them off. And sometimes they do it deliberately. Sometimes they can be underhanded. So, some people just the way it is. It's not always intention to start a fight, but sometimes you have to say things that somebody else doesn't want to hear. So, but you're here to level yourselves. It's a neutral world, so both sides can talk, just kind of like your North Korea. North Korea is real skeptical about connecting to the rest of the world. Well, many of you are skeptical of connecting to a different world, a more open world. Many of you see the new Earth, you can call it whatever you want, but it is a world that's a lot more positive than this one. And you're kind of getting backlash, as you can see. Kind of like some people are, your neighbor can be a North Korea. It's like, I don't think so. We're going to stay in our little hut. As some of you can feel that. But you can have family members that are just like totally against what you believe. I'm not making anything easy. It's like, can't we at least have a conversation? No. Okay, never mind. So, not that you're trying to sell your idea, but you're just trying to make peace. To basically have an open-mindedness. You might not believe in what I believe in, but can at least talk. And doing that in your world is kind of impossible. Especially with the religions. Yes, when they're preaching Jesus. Which is fine, but it's an agenda. Basically, just many of you that are here for a more positive Earth are here just to have a positive Earth. No agendas. Just can we just stop the wars? And many have stopped the wars, slowing it down. Many different genders are being accepted, as you can see. More people are changing their genders. It's hard, but this is your alien world is right in front of you. It just being more open minded. If you want to have a different gender every day, sure, why not? It's that acceptance of each other, love and acceptance of whatever you think. Love and acceptance is key to your survival. Have an open mind. Blessings. Alright, hopefully that was helpful. Alright, take care everyone. Have a great night.